Stefan here, and welcome to another episode of the Black Girl Podcast. Woo, woo, woo. Look, it is always super exciting, super great to have you guys here tuning in every week. I really appreciate it. Just the amount of support and listeners we have. Um, it's just good. It feels good to be supported. It feels good that, maybe some of my own experiences can help others. That makes me feel super good. So we're going to get straight into this week's topic, which is saying no and meaning no. Not saying no and meaning maybe, not saying no and meaning maybe another time. Saying no and sticking to that no. And that's hard, right? That's hard, especially if you're someone like me who is a natural people pleaser. It comes with great difficulty to have to tell somebody no, right? It just feels like it's just going to ruin the whole relationship. It's just going to ruin everything if I can't be that person that they need right now. But it has to happen. It has to happen. We have to have healthy boundaries. And that's easier said than done, right? And some people, it's super easy for them to be like, I can't do it. Not this time. Sorry. No. I said I was gonna do that. No, I can't do it. You need me when? No. I even I watched an episode of, I think it was The Office or something, and I want to say Dwight asked one of the guys like, hey, you want to come to my party this weekend? He's like, oh no, I'm busy. Sorry, can't make it. I'm gonna be super busy that day. And he's like, I didn't tell you what day or the time, or the location, So, and I always make me laugh because like some people are just like, boom, they can do it. They can be like, no, mean it. We're gonna have to have a discussion about it. I don't have to give you a reason. And then for others like myself, it's so difficult to do. Oh my goodness. I just always feel like I'm disappointing someone when I have to tell them no. And I don't know if it's like, if it's something that stems from like my childhood where I feel like I have to be this person. I am the oldest out of three. So, I'm the big sister. So, I've always been there for my brother and sister. So I don't know if, that created this like helper mentality. I don't know whether it's something that I just like feeling needed by people. Like I just like for people to need my help. It makes me feel included. It makes me feel important because I suffer from, issues with my self-esteem and self-worth and my confidence. And so somebody needing my help makes me feel so good about myself, who knows? Or it could be a mixture of all these things. But there comes a time where I can't do it. Whether it's a scheduling conflict, whether it's just, I'm just mentally and physically drained, or I don't have a good reason. I just don't want to. And that has to be okay. Not just for me or for the person that is having to communicate this, negative reaction, just no. But also it has to be okay for the recipient as well. Like we also have to understand that people have boundaries, and that's okay for them to have boundaries. It's okay for somebody to tell you, no, you ain't gonna die. I promise you, you won't. And to really give that person grace and understanding to where if someone says, I really wish I could, but I can't do it. Okay, girl, I understand. It's not a problem. I appreciate you even thinking about it or considering it. So it's a twofold thing. But even if that person is going to be irate with you, they're going to be pissed off, you still have to hold your ground and be like, no, and mean it, right? Don't be like, oh, well, I really had to pick up the kids and I had to go grocery shopping and I really needed to work on my next episode of my podcast and I really needed to do some laundry and I promised so and so I was going to do this too and I had this thing at work that I really need to finish. But I think if I can squeeze all of that and get it all done and rush through this and make it work, then the little bit of time that I've carved out for myself, I guess I can give that to you. Because you're gonna run into people that be like, great, thank you, awesome, and then go about their day. Not even considering like all that you said or all that you potentially are gonna sacrifice or this long, long list of things that you have to do, not considering your feelings or your well-being, but will just hop right on that bandwagon and be like, yeah, sure, great, thanks. Glad you're able to work it out. So you have to be like, I can't do that because I want to. And you have to be okay with not having to explain to someone. Now, if you want to, by all means, if you want to explain to someone why you can't do something for them or why you can't be there for them in this particular moment or space of time, then by all means do that. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. But it's okay to not give them an explanation. And I'll give you a prime example, right? So I had a friend that wanted me to help plan their baby shower, right? And so they're like, oh, I don't think in that. Well, let's start off with, I use friend loosely because we weren't that close. We worked together and we would occasionally go for maybe a drink or, go to lunch together. But we weren't super close or besties or anything like that. So, and I didn't know her family or outside friends or anything like that. And so she says, oh, I saw what you did for so and so, so and so, and I would just love for you to plan my baby shower. Now, during this time, I was trying to go to school online and finish my bachelor's degree. I also was a single mom of two, and I worked full time. And on top of that, I did some freelance photography on the weekend. So my schedule was pretty slam packed, right? The little bit of time that I did have, I really try to dedicate that to my boys because you work in, they go to school, they go to daycare, you got all these external factors. So when I have time to really sit down and just enjoy being a mom for that moment, I like to do that. That's my thing. That's my zhuzh. That's just it. So for her to ask me to take on another task, it was just unrealistic for my lifestyle. And it wasn't going to be something that benefited me or my children in any sort of way. I wasn't being compensated for it because I was doing it at a friend discount, which was she pretty much just paid for the materials, but there I was not going to be compensated for any labor or anything that I was doing. And it killed me to tell her no. And here's the thing, right? I didn't tell her no right away. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no. I was more the, oh, well, I mean, I guess I could maybe make it work. Like, I guess I could. I mean, if I could get somebody to watch the boys, then maybe I could go look at some venues for it. And, maybe I could try to slide out on my lunch break and see if I can find, some extra decorations and things. I mean, I don't I guess maybe I could try to figure it out. And so all this hesitation and, in my voice, she never picked up on, or she did, and she just ignored it. This is her first baby, so it ain't like she had other kids to attend to or anything like that. But she was just like, oh, you got it. I know you can make it work. I know you can figure it out. You're the best. I love you so much. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. Yeah. So I did it. I made it happen. I found someone, paid someone to watch my boys so that I could go and find a venue. And then I found a caterer. And then and I got decorations. And in my spare time when I was at home, I made these cute little diaper cakes and different things, and came up with games for us to play and all kind of stuff, right? And then I remember being at this baby shower and looking at all the fruits of my labor, and she was excited. She really was. But I remember when she got up to make her speech, she thanked her mom and her best friend for everything, and I remember sitting there like pissed off at her, right? I was so pissed off at her, like, wow, wow, really, really, of course, the type of person I am. I did not say this to her. I said it in my brain to myself, like, I can't believe that. I can't believe that all the work that I did, all the sacrifice that I made, and I had to find a babysitter, I had to do this and do that and do that to make this thing pop for her. And I'm the one that handmade those little decorative tassels to hang from the ceiling. I'm the one that handmade her backdrop for her little photo shoot. And I'm the one that hand painted those words on there with her son's name and all this stuff, right? Was I really mad at her? Partly, yes. But I was mad at me. I was mad at me. I was mad at me because I knew what it was going to take for me to pull this off. I knew the sacrifices that I was going to have to make this work for her. And I didn't communicate that. I wanted to say no, but I put her feelings before my own because clearly she had her mom and she had her best friend and anybody else that she was going to thank on this particular day that could have done these things for her. But because I put someone else's feelings before my own, somebody's wants and needs and demands before my own, I was left looking the way I was looking. I felt really dumb. So, and that frustrated me. I can't really be frustrated by her because she did ask. And I did not say no. I didn't necessarily come out and be like, I would love to. But I didn't communicate no. And I could have gave her a whole bunch of reasons about why, or I could have just been like, I'm sorry, girl, I can't do it. But I wish you the best. I'll show up and bring you a gift. I'll be in attendance for sure, I could just gave her a flat out no. And so I was more mad at myself, right? And so we think about situations where we should say no and don't. And whether that situation where we just feel uncomfortable and we just don't want to be somewhere, we can say, I just don't want to go. Situations where somebody wants us to do something for them, or situation where somebody wants us to do something for ourselves. And what I mean by that is, where somebody says, you should dress this way, or you should look this way, or you should raise your kids this way, or I wouldn't spank my kids, or I would spank my kids, or I can't believe you're not breastfeeding, or whatever it is, because people, let me tell you, especially nowadays, people are going to have an opinion about every single thing, especially on social media. Let me tell you something. Hiding behind the internet walls, people are going to have an opinion about things that you do and things that you say, and way that you raise your kids if you put that on social media, or ways that you dress if you choose to put that on social media, or ways that you act, or things that you do, or how much you work, or how much you don't work, or how much you stay at home, and how much you don't stay at home, and how you live your life, and all these different things. And you have to be the one to be like, no. Even if it's something like, you don't get to comment on my life. No on your opinion. No on your opinion. And a lot of times, I think we don't do that because we feel like it's going to be uncomfortable for the other person. But who cares if it's uncomfortable for them? If it's making us uncomfortable, we have to, I won't say we, I, and anyone who else who's listening can relate to this. I have to get better with putting my comfort, my security, my thoughts about me, my health, my well being before someone else's. And that is where it gets hard with saying no, because if you're somebody who is so easy to put someone else's wants and needs before your own, then telling that person no is hard. You know who is really hard to tell no to? My children. That's sometimes really hard. And sometimes that really comes from mom guilt, for sure. That comes from, me feeling guilty about maybe some of the not so great decisions that I made regarding my children or my children's well being or my children's environment in my past. And so that makes me a mom who sometimes overcompensates. Now, I'm not saying don't spoil your kids or don't go above and beyond for your kids. I'm going to do that every day, for sure. That's just me. That's who I am. And that's what I love doing as a mom. But there have been times where I should have been like, you don't need that. You don't deserve that. I'm not signing you up for that because you didn't do the last thing we did. I'm not buying that because you broke the last two phones I gave you. But, I can't imagine. Or times where I'm just exhausted. I'm worn out. I work a 16-hour day. I came home and cooked dinner. All I want to do is relax. When the weekend comes, all I want to do is relax, put my feet up, take a long bath, watch my favorite movie, and somebody wants to do something. Somebody wants to go somewhere. Somebody wants, needs, mom, 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 mom. And even in those situations, I have to get comfortable with saying, not today. We're not doing that today. Today's me day. Today's mom day. Or we'll do that a little bit later, but right now, I'm taking some time out for me. And, that can come off really selfish, right? A lot of people could be like, you gave up your me time when you became a mom, when you had kids, you gave up that time that you were going to carve out for yourself. Now your only job is to make this little person happy. You can be happy when they're grown and gone. No, absolutely not. I would go insane if I could never make time for myself. And so sometimes you got to tell those little people no. And you got to be okay with that. In relationships, with best friendships, it's hard to tell your best friend no. She wouldn't turn up tonight. You don't really want to. But she's like, oh, I can't go to the club with myself. Don't do this to me. Come on. Remember that time where I did this for you? And I appreciate it. But I don't want to. You can do that in romantic relationships. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend, they want you to do this, they want you to do that, and relationships all about compromise. But there will be a time where you have to be like, for me, I can't do this. For me, I'm choosing to not do this. That's hard. It's hard because you don't want to disappoint people. I think genuinely we don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to disappoint people. But that's life and that's going to happen. And and sometimes it's not even really that dramatic, right? If you tell somebody no, I promise you they're not, it's not going to be the end of their day. It's not going to be the worst thing that's ever happened to them. It's not going to be just this huge detrimental thing. And then honestly, real talk, even if it is, if it's for your mental well-being, oh well, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And look, guys, you see, I just naturally did that, right? I have such a bad habit with saying I'm sorry. I say it like a million times a day. I say it so much. I say it so much, and my partner is constantly like, stop saying you're sorry. You're not sorry. Stop saying you're sorry. You're not sorry. You're not sorry. Stop saying you're sorry. But I have such a bad habit because I'm such a people pleaser, right? I have such a bad habit of apologizing constantly. And then my son does it too, and that really bugs me because I'd be like, you're not sorry. You should be sorry for wanting better for yourself, or you should be sorry for not wanting to do blah blah blah. But they pick up, the things that I do. They pick up, these different cues in their environment. So yes, they are definitely going to mimic things that I do. And so I just naturally just like, I can't do that for you. I'm so sorry. And I had to go back and be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for putting me before you. I'm not sorry about that. I'm not sorry. But I am, but I am, but I am. And I battle with that constantly, right? Yeah, and it goes back to the last episode, fake it till you make it, right? Where I'm like, I'm not sorry, but deep down, I really am sorry. But I have to kind of like convince myself that I'm not until I really, ingrain this mentality into my head that you should not be sorry for putting yourself first, Felicia. You should not be sorry for taking care of your physical and mental well being first. If you just don't have the energy to participate in this conversation, then you just don't. If you don't have the energy to participate in this outing or participate in whatever it is, you don't have to. You can say no. You can set up healthy boundaries for yourself because in setting up that healthy boundary or that gate, that personal bubble or all the different terminologies we have for it, right? And setting up those boundaries for yourself, you're preventing a lot of hurt. You're preventing a lot of frustrations because you're not allowing people to get there. This space right here is just for me. You stay on this side, I'm gonna stay on this side, and that's how we're gonna operate, right? And then when you allow yourself to have those healthy boundaries, oh man, it feels so good because people know they can't cross that line. They can't cross that line. You know, it's funny, right? Because I remember um, having a coworker who at 5 o'clock on the dot, she was out the door, right? 4:50, she was cleaning up and packing up because she works from 8 to 5. And I came here at 8 and I'm gonna go hard for y'all for this time period. And when 5 o'clock hit, that's me time. That's my time. That's my time. I'm sorry that didn't get done before 5 o'clock. I guess I have to do it next day. I know now, like culturally, they're calling it what is it? Quiet quitting. But she had this mentality way before that became like a common hashtag or whatever. Right? She had this mentality to where 5 o'clock, I was hired to work till 5 o'clock. And when 5 o'clock gets here, it's time for me to go. Right? So I remember her constantly doing that and me being like, oh, okay, but never doing that myself. But I would always be the person that's like, hey, good. I'm so glad you're here. We have some things for you we need you to do. Don't forget. Hey, yeah, when you get a chance. What? I'm knocking over my mic. I'm like, what? What? How is that fair? How is that right? Why I get stuck doing all the work? Why is it that I have extra stuff to do now? Why is it that I am expected to stay after work hours to take care of things, right? Why am I the one that's expected to go the extra mile, to do the extra work, to make the extra sacrifices? We do the same job. We have the same job title. We have the same salary. Really confused as to why I have to do more than this person has to do, right? And really, honestly, it's because she set boundaries that I did not set. It's because our supervisor knew that her boundary for herself was that she was not working past 5 o'clock. She was not doing it. It was not happening. Don't look for me. I'm not going to be here. I was hired to work till 5. That's all I'm going to do. I will do my job and do it to the best of my ability and do it excellently while I am here. But after 5 o'clock, that's on you guys. It's gonna have to wait till the next day. But I never set those boundaries for myself. I never set those boundaries for Fee. And so that's why it was okay for someone to be like, oh, Felicia, take care of it. Oh, she'll guide it. She could do it. Because that was the environment that I set. That was the mentality that I set for other people regarding me. But had I been like her and been like, no, I could have been home watching my show at 5:30. But no, instead, I'm still here working away. And so, that's really what I mean about saying no and meaning it, and not second guessing yourself, not going back and forth in your head, being able to set those healthy boundaries for yourself, saying no, meaning no, and living with that no, not beating yourself up about it, being okay with that. And sometimes, like I said, going back to that last episode about faking it until you make it, sometimes you cannot be okay with turning somebody down and having to really kind of trick yourself or fake it like in your head that, you know what, I don't care what they think. Oh well, they mad, be mad, oh well. And really deep down you feel like, oh, I feel like crap for having to do that. But you know that you did it with the best interest for yourself, right? You did it because it was the best decision for you. And so having to really go through, it's okay. You can go behind closed doors and really just be in your mind about it a little bit, but still stand firm on your decision. And when I got to a point in my life where I could tell people no and mean it, when I could put myself first and be like, I can't do that for you, whew, y'all, the pressure that was released and the peace that came in, it wasn't nothing like it. It was nothing like the peace that came in without having that constant demand on my back. And that's not saying I don't help people, because I do. I just don't help anyone if it's going to be a hindrance to anything that I have going on. And even if that's my personal time. If I know Sundays is the days where I do self-care, that's the days that I wash my hair, that's the day that I exfoliate, that's the day that I drink my tea, and the day that I go to Pilates and I do my yoga, that's the day that I sit on the couch and eat cereal and watch TV and catch up on all my shows. If that's my self-care day, and you ask me to do something on Sunday, it's okay for me to tell you no. It's okay for me to know that that's my day to sit on my butt and eat cereal and do nothing and regroup before the beginning of the week when I'm back at work and I'm back in school and I'm back grinding and I'm doing other things. That's okay. You don't have to sit there and be like, oh, well, I mean, how can I tell this person no, because all I'm doing is eating cereal and watching TV? So that's your day. That's my day. That's feed day. So, I really had to come to terms with that, to be like, it's okay. And when I did that, right? When I did that, like I said, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, with that being said, that is the end of this episode on saying no and meaning it. And the big thing about this platform is constantly encouraging women of color to use their voice and to speak up with, especially about things concerning anxiety and stress, things that make us uncomfortable. Because if we are able to know what makes us uncomfortable and then can communicate that to others, then we can change the trajectory of a lot of things. Like I said, if I'm able to communicate that I don't feel comfortable in something, that I don't want to do something, well then that's more time that I have for me. That's less times I'm taking away from me that I may need to recharge and regroup and be a better version of me. So I want to continue to reiterate that on every episode. My main focus here at the Black Girl Podcast is to encourage those safe spaces for you to talk about things that are sometimes uncomfortable, because we have all the platforms in the world to talk about things that are not going to make anybody a little, you know what I'm saying? But where are the platforms so you really talk about how I'm not okay today? I'm not cool with that. I want something different for myself and for my life. And for us to really be like, hey, I'm still healing. I'm still on this journey. And that's okay. That's okay for me to still be on this journey and still working things out and still figuring things out. Even at 36, it's okay for me to still be trying to figure these things out. At least I know there's something to figure out, right? So again, if you have any comments, any inquiries, any questions, feel free to hit me up at Offbeat Black Girl Podcast. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram under that handle. Also, feel free to email me at offbeatblackgirl@gmail.com. And thank you for tuning in. I will see you next Friday. Bye, guys.